In a significant bipartisan effort, Senators Maria Cantwell, Democrat of Washington, and Cathy McMorris Rodgers, Republican also of Washington, have introduced in the American Privacy Rights Act, aiming to break the deadlock in Congress over data privacy protections. This landmark proposal offers consumers new rights over their personal information, including the ability to correct, delete, or export their data and opt out of targeted advertising, I would say surveillance as well, and data transfers. Additionally, introduces stringent security measures to protect consumers' data and allows for both federal and state enforcement as well as private lawsuits against violators. That and many, many more stories tonight. You're listening to Geek News Central, episode 1735, coming to this Monday, April 8th. I'm your host, Todd Cochran. A big shout out to our primary sponsor at GoDaddy.com. Grab their deals at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And to all of our awesome listeners, you're the real MVPs. Contribute your time, talent, or treasure at geeknewscentral.com/insider by becoming a GNC Insider. We're live and lit with modern podcast apps from podcastapps.com. Join the value for value movement by downloading and using a modern podcast app. We want you, of course, to dive into our digital hub at geeknewscentral.com. Don't forget to check all our partner shows and everything linked to geeknewscentral.com. Get on board, follow and subscribe to your favorite modern podcast app. Sign up for the newsletter while you're at it. And of course, you can always join the chat room at geeknews.chat. If you have feedback, it's very, very simple. Email me directly, geeknews@gmail.com, or catch me on X at Geek News. Of course, you can find me on Facebook as well. Easy way to get connected, stay connected. And of course, a massive salute to GoDaddy, our longtime sponsor here at Geek News Central, for their ongoing support of the show, where you can save money. Lock in your savings today at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Grab yourself a deal. And really, they're all right there for you. $11.99 for a brand new domain name. $6.99 a month economy hosting. $12.99 a month managed WordPress hosting. Even a free trial of GoDaddy website builder. Those economy hosting and managed WordPress hosting deals, though, include a free domain, an SSL certificate for the first year. Again, a professional email as well. So again, the $6.99 a month economy hosting, $12.99 a month managed WordPress hosting, include a free domain, professional email, and SSL certificate. That free trial GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal business plus plans. That's a 1 month free trial. Definitely get over there to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Lock in your savings today. Support the podcast. You're utilizing one of our promo codes to pick up a GoDaddy product or service. It's just like writing a check. It's like you've got your checkbook out, if people still have those, and wrote me a check or sent me a Cash App or whatever you use these days, PayPal. Doesn't matter. That lock in a deal at GoDaddy. Get yourself set up. I've got to shut off the ringer here to a phone. Make sure you check out the deals we have again at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Place to save. And we definitely appreciate your ongoing support of the Geek News Central podcast. Hope everyone's doing well. Uneventful weekend. Actually, this weekend, I basically didn't clean house. I decluttered. And it was a lot of work. Living, bachelor style is definitely just kind of, I have a tendency to kind of leave stuff, and I have one table that I knew would become this catch-all for everything. And, I'd have my GoPro and different stuff kind of, all around. And it really was kind of like this, geek zone. And I figured, okay, it's time to consolidate this stuff. I'm always looking for something. I can't find it. So I kind of did that, and just one thing led to the other, and I worked my way all the way around the house, through my bedroom, in the kitchen. There's still more work to be done. I have two corners that are basically hid by partitions, and I worked on some networking stuff, and it just was kind of this whole weekend. And then the weather today turned beautiful. Oh my God, what a day for the eclipse! I did not go anywhere. I stayed right here in southern Michigan. We got about a 95. It got pretty close to dark, but still, that kind of that gray weirdness. So I hope that you're over. Man, it was Eclipse Mania on TV. I was watching NASA on YouTube, had a news channel up and their coverage, and turned the volumes down on both because really after the first one in Mexico that they showed, it was kind of like rinse, wash, repeat, and people getting excited, and I just like, people are crying on TV. I'm just like, really? I know I've seen, and I don't remember where I saw it. I've seen a total eclipse before. It may have been when I just don't remember where. Now, having traveled all over the world, I've been lucky to catch a few in different places. So, out in my yard here, the the weed shop next door was having a sale, eclipse sale. You come in around the 15 minutes of the total eclipse, and they were giving a big discount, and I just thought it was good. There was a few vehicles that showed up, but they were all out with their glasses. Now, I didn't have glasses; I hadn't bought any. They were nice enough to let me borrow their glasses a couple of times. I just looked for 15 seconds, and same thing I was seeing on TV, and it is what it is. But if you got to see the total eclipse for the first time, congratulations. And I hope you enjoyed it. Next one in the United States, at least, is like 20 plus years from now or something like that. We have the timeline. There's other ones in other parts of the world, so don't worry. There's other places to go if you really want to. So I hope everyone's doing well, and we thank you for being here with us today. I want to start out with this first article about a privacy bill here in the United States that we really have been needing in a big, big way. And these two lawmakers need to be really kind of commended for their work that they've done to try to get this to the point where maybe it can come out of committee, maybe it can be put on the House and Senate, maybe it'll be on the floor, maybe it'll be debated. I don't know. But this is something we need in a big, big way. And we know that the failed American Data Privacy and Protection Act didn't make it because of flaws. But we need some sort of protection, and I don't know if we're ever going to get it. To be frank, politics being politics, and I think that here in the United States we do need some privacy along with in regards to electronics or online stuff that we're doing now, online privacy. So time will tell where this goes. I'm to be honest with you, at this point in the game, I don't think they get anything done. I really don't. I don't think they get anything done at all. And Congress is very ineffective, and it's very obvious. So I don't know. I don't know if this will move them past dead center or not. I just hate to say it, but it's just kind of one of those things like, yawn, here we go again. They're going to try, and we'll see. And we will see. So, in another move here, one that I think is gutsy, and also just shows you, and the thing that you should consider. Now we know that the U.S. government has sent Twitter or X and other organizations requests to take down media, ban accounts. And we all, to be honest with you, I'm just surprised over the years there has not been as much outcry. And it's troubling to me that people would not be explosively angry that a government would ask for content to be taken down. We live in a world of free speech. In this country, at least here in the United States, you're not saying that free speech you're saying something could have consequences. That goes with anything. But I also am a firm believer in that we all should be able to make our own judgment on content. Crazies will be crazy. It's just the way it is. But I don't want to live in a nanny state. I don't want to live somewhere where the government is always trying to protect us. So meanwhile, Brazil told X to remove certain profiles. Brazil's Attorney General has demanded urgent regulation of social media sites after Elon Musk threatened to disobey a court order banning certain profiles on his platform after he called for a Supreme Court justice to resign or be impeached in Brazil. Elon has threatened to disobey the court order from the Brazilian Supreme Court, a Supreme Court justice. Musk says we cannot live in what Brazil is saying. So we cannot live in a society in which billionaires domiciled abroad have control of social networks and put themselves in a position to violate the rule of law, failing to comply with court orders and threatening our authorities. The comments came after ex-Global Government Affairs team posted that it has been forced by court decision to block certain popular accounts in Brazil. X says, we do not know the reason these blocking orders have been issued, and we are prohibited from saying which court or judge issued the order or on what grounds. It's being speculated the profiles are linked to far-right movements, which have fertile grounds on X and other social media platforms, including Telegram. Elon weighed in and suggested the court order came from Alexandra de Moraes, a Supreme Court justice who's been a vocal advocate of cracking down on anti-democratic content online, particularly following the riots on January 8th last year when thousands of far-right demonstrators stormed government buildings in Brazil. Musk vowed to publish everything demanded by the Supreme Court judge and how those requests violate Brazilian law. Musk called for Moraes to resign or be impeached and said the judge had been brazenly and repeatedly betrayed the Constitution and the people of Brazil. Musk's comments echo talking points of Brazil's far right, which has long accused Moraes and the Supreme Court of censorship and running a judicial dictatorship. Now, I'm not implying in the least that here in the United States we have a dictatorial judicial. I don't believe that at all. But we know that certain courts, certain lean right, lean left. And the Supreme Court too. Some justices lean right, some lean left. We know that. But anytime a government official asks for accounts to be banned, asks for accounts to be taken down, asks for accounts to be censored, there is something fundamentally wrong. We know that many countries do not have freedom of speech as we do here in the United States. We know that people, as an example, in Saudi Arabia can talk up to a certain point about complaining about the leadership, and if they go too far, it could have dire consequences. We know that in some countries, speaking a certain way will likely get you killed. Because the government runs in such a way that they smash and squash dissidents. Should we allow ourselves here in the United States to allow the government to come in and censor when someone has an opposing voice? I say no. Because what happens when the pendulum switches the other way? When the left takes away from the right and the right takes away from the left, they're equally bad. So we know that Elon's a self-declared free speech absolutist. And I think I'm pretty much a free speech absolutist at this point as well. But I'm also have a little bit of history on why I think freedom of speech should be allowed. I may not like some of the speech. I can turn it off, switch the channel, flip to a different YouTube, flip to a different TikTok. I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to agree to it. But I think we all have a right to say what we want to say. These types of events are oppressive. And when they are abused, when censorship is abused by countries' leaders, right or left, in the United States included, silencing dissidents and activists is very, very, very dangerous. Now, there's new laws in India and Turkey which can require them to take content down or face bans or fines or even imprisonment of staff because they want to control the message. They don't like people speaking out against the government. And I'm just, I'm at a point now where it's very, very obvious to me that the media has basically are shaping the minds of people and everywhere, and they have these agendas, and I'm sick of agendas. Especially when it comes to freedom of speech. Again, if you say you're going to do some physical harm to someone, well, there is definitely a line. It says if you are invoking something against another person. But should I not have the right to say we should protest? I'm not saying you have the right to say I'm going to riot. But if you do say I'm going to riot, then, if you do riot, then, you can have a negative action put upon you. But I really think there is, we have to really look at this. I don't like it when the government says take something down, any government. To me, that's a political agenda. Or them believing that we can't protect ourselves. What say you? Do you think Musk is right to disobey the court order over banned profiles here? Well, not just in Brazil or anywhere. Well, what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know you have an opinion. So counter me one way or the other, geeknews@gmail.com. Say, yes, I agree, I disagree. Here's the reason I disagree. Give me counter arguments, whatever it may be. I really want to hear from you. geeknews@gmail.com. But I think Elon I think he should oppose this court order. I really do. And lay out for the people to see who's requesting what and where. Wouldn't that be cool if we could do that for every government requested takedown, know who asked for it and why? OpenAI allegedly has transcribed over 1 million hours of YouTube videos to train Chat GTP-4 or GPT-4. This story opens up an AI, which, desperate for training data, reportedly developed its whisper audio transcription, this transcription model to get over the hump to transcribing over 1 million hours of YouTube videos to train GPT-4. Now, full disclosure here, this past December, and I haven't got my full payment yet, I was paid to submit over 2,000 hours of my voice from Geek News Central to an entity that was training a model that I got paid for. And I have a contract that says they're not going to use my voice. They're not going to, they're using it to train a model. And I got paid for that. I got my first payment about a week ago. And it was a nice payment. And I'm due significantly more for what I have submitted. So I've gotten paid by an entity, which I can't go into detail, to submit voice training data to a model. Same way in the New Media Show. Rob and I both, New Media Show and Geek News Central, all the audio we've ever created on this show and the New Media Show was submitted, but we got paid for it. Now, if OpenAI is going to go through my 2,000 hours of Geek News Central content and wants to write me a check, I would love to take their money. But at the same time, I'm also seeing the benefits on the other side of the fence, the stuff that they're developing that I can employ in my business to do some really incredible things. So there's two sides to this, right? And everyone's, my copyright's violated. I hope they index every page at Geek News Central and put it into the model. I do. I hope they have. I would give permission for them to put every page at Geek News Central, Blueberry.com in the model, because somewhere, somehow, I want some of that authority to come back to me. I feel what I've said, what we've written about on the website is in our voice and should feed the dialogue. Does that scare you? That all my content is in some training model somewhere? And my mannerisms and my points of view, those of you that are listening are probably fans of my points of view, so maybe you would say yes, but some people are not. So maybe they'd say, oh my God, 2,000 hours of Todd's opinion in some model somewhere? Yep. And the folks that we were contracting with was looking for 40,000 hours. So if I provided them roughly 2,500 hours, that's a pretty good percentage of my voice and Rob's voice that are been used to train some language model somewhere for transcribing or LLM or whatever it may be. We know it was going into an AI model. We don't know which. We do know it wasn't China. So I do have that information didn't go because that was one of my specifics. I did not want my language going into a model that was going into a, some Chinese government database somewhere. So OpenAI told The Verge in an email that the company creates unique data sets for each of its models. And it also includes podcasts. The Times says that the company exhausts the supply's use of data in 2020 and discussed transcribing YouTube videos, podcasts, and audiobooks after blowing through other resources. By then, it trained its model on data included computer code from GitHub, Chess Move databases, and schoolwork content from Quizlet. Google has said in an email that the company's seen unconfirmed reports of OpenAI's activity, adding that both our robot.txt files and terms of service prohibit unauthorized scraping or downloading of YouTube content. So, better ask for forgiveness than ask permission sometimes, and that's probably what's going to happen. People get sued, money will be spent, and this thing will continue to move forward. over time. A totally unrelated topic, Disney Plus to crack down on password sharing this summer. So they're going to follow in Netflix steps. And by September, no more sharing accounts. So just be advised. Meanwhile, hospital help desks have been targeted by hackers. Of course, they have, with all the data they have. They've come in and say, "Oh, I'm so and so, and I'm locked out of my account and my multi-factor authentication. I lost my phone, blah, blah, blah." And they're getting into hospital data and finances. And basically, it's a cash cow. So that's how people are getting cash these days, by hacking in, getting into people's accounts, setting up payment systems, and transferring money into U.S. bank accounts. I have a hard time making a bank account. How do hackers make bank accounts in America? How is that possible? Have you tried to open a bank account recently? I know I did a couple of years ago, and I had to show like four different sets of ID, LLC documents. Oh my God. Promise I wasn't in the weed business. A whole bunch of stuff I had to sign. So how are these hackers setting up bank accounts? With stolen IDs? Are you watching your social security number to make sure someone's not opening up a bank account? Crazy. Apple. Oh my goodness. EU regulators assess Apple's plan for complying with music streaming order. And of course, Spotify's pissed still. Under Apple's proposal from this lawsuit they had some time ago, the Swedish music service Spotify and others can include a link to their website to inform users of other ways to purchase digital goods. They can also invite users to provide their email address to be sent a link to the platform's website. However, that carries a 27% fee to Apple, including for subsequent auto-renewing subscriptions. So Apple's still getting their money one way or the other, just providing a link. And basically, the commission says we're currently assessing whether Apple's fully complied with the decision. I don't think they have. They did a little workaround. Spotify is bemoaning the fact it's still waiting for Apple to comply with the EU order 5 weeks on. Separately, the commission is also investigating Apple rules for its App Store and measured it announced recently to comply with the legislation known as the Digital Markets Act. I'm concerned that these and various changes may hinder developers from freely communicating and promoting their offers. Yep, because they have to pay. Apple's still getting their pound of flesh. They're still getting their percent. So, not surprising. Do you leave your TV on? Just let it just run all day? I'm watching YouTube and stuff. I guess if you let it go, it'll continue to pick new videos to watch. And but apparently, there's a service called Tubi. I'm not familiar with Tubi. But apparently, Tubi is a free streaming service that I guess it's ad supported. Tubi is accounting for 1.7% of global TV watching as of February 2024. And I guess people just let their TVs go and let them run. I don't do that. I'm bandwidth constrained, so I don't let just the TV go and go and go. Because if I did, I would burn through my data pretty quickly, even on Starlink. So, by the way, my speed increase from my over-the-air provider, not bad. We went from about 15 to about 30. I didn't get quite 40, but the upload speed's a little better. So, it's better. It's not 40 like, they advertise. It never is. It's never as high as they say it's going to be, but it's better. And one of the reasons why I'm doing a little bit of a network upgrade is I am on, because the speeds were so slow, really in regards to both Starlink and my over-the-air service, I was using some older routers, and just because the speed was slow, so why did I need to upgrade? So I did order some new equipment, Ubiquity stuff, and so it's my network's still never going to get the speed anywhere where I ever would wish it to be because of the limitations of where I live. But at least there will not be it won't be a router or network slowdown or anything coming out of either the two routers. So excited to see how that goes. I'll be talking about and a little overkill, but also trying to wire up. Most of my stuff is on Wi-Fi, so I'm trying to wire up a few of the primary devices that I've had challenges with. I've had challenges with my over-the-air Wi-Fi backups to my backup device, to my NAS. So I want to make sure that the primary computers that I want to make sure are always backed up to have a hard connection back to the network versus Wi-Fi. And because I'm on an open floor plan, that is not as easy as one would think without having cables everywhere. So doing the master planning really yesterday, I kind of found a route where the LAN cable will have to be protected for about a total of 4 feet in one place and 3 feet in another to basically cross open airspace where there's no wall, can't go up. I just have to go on the floor. And it's just me. I'm not worried about it. Have a throw rug down or something, but I'll have a protector that will protect 2 LAN cables that will basically do what I want to do, get me to where I want, especially when I can run another switch in a location where stuff is kind of congregated. So, just trying to get that kind of figured out and ordered a few LAN cables. And I have a box of LAN cables here that I'm taking home tonight to start laying everything out. And, nothing better than wired. Let's be frank. Wi-Fi is great and it's getting better. Wi-Fi 6 is fantastic. But still going to wire some key elements. But it is what it is. And the challenges of living in a loft, where there's no natural walls and literally, 2,000 square foot wall to wall brand, open, can be a bit of a challenge. So anyway, get that worked on this week as the equipment comes in and see where this story goes. Hey, I want to thank our insiders, Dale Taylor, his $25 super kahuna, Atlihi Kahuna donation, Ron Ken on his $2 sustaining donation, Andrew Palmer and his $5 Ohana donation. Thank you guys so much for your insider donations and continued support of the show. We've had a number of you that are starting. I've seen some of you starting to use a new podcast app from podcastapps.com. I see streaming sats coming in from Papa HD on Fountain, and then then streaming sats also coming in from Darren Schwartz as well. So folks sending the streaming sats, we definitely appreciate it. As far as boosts go, that we've gotten Satoshi's mostly coming to the new media show. Nothing new for the Geek News Central. Try that boost function out, gentlemen. And it costs you 2.5 cents if you just send 100 sats. It's the thought that counts. It's not about the money. That's what you guys have to understand. It's the thought that counts when you send Satoshis via a new podcast app at podcastapps.com. It's like sending an email to the show, geeknews@gmail.com. It's the thought that counts. It's the interaction. And the best part is when you're using the app, you can do it right from in the app. You don't have to load your email as you're listening. You just go in the app and hit comment or boost, send 100 sats for 2.5 cents. Or maybe it's 5 cents now because of the increase in crypto. And you put your note in and you send it, and we get it right here on the show. On the last episode of the new media show, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 boosts come in, and people were streaming sats as well. They were sending comments live while we were doing the show. So definitely check that out. And again, we're live right now on all those fancy new podcast apps. So again, thanks for the insiders over there. And if you're not an insider, geeknewscentral.com/insider. Meanwhile, Gemini AI is coming to the Android Google app and will replace Assistant. So the Google app is already on your phone. And it's about to start pushing Google's new AI models. Lovely. You know, I'm a Perplexity, and I think it's called Perplexity and Claude and Open. Those are the three I'm using right now. The three apps primarily. Google to bring lookup button for unknown callers on Android. Boy, I tell you, I get at least 2 or 3 days of just anonymous text. Hi, how are you? And I know immediately it's just some scammer. Who's this? Oh, this is Julie. How are you, Tony? I'm not Tony. Oh, I'm so sorry. How are you? Where are you located? And no, it's just a scam. It's all junk. Block, 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 block. And if you are ever going to send me a text to my phone, unannounced, please say, "Hey, Todd, this is so and so, and I listened to the show," and because otherwise I might block you if you just say, "Hey." So Google's to bring lookup button for unknown callers on Android. And it's developing this new feature. It'll allow users to identify unknown callers directly within the app. The new button called Lookup was spotted in code. So that's good. The Lookup button's a user-friendly addition. Pops up when you tap on a call from an unknown number. In the recent calls tabs of the phone, upon tapping, it opens Google search window with the number already entered in. Oh, if it just opens up Google search, it's worthless. Every search a telephone number that you don't know, and it just brings up a whole bunch of services that want you to pay to have a number looked up. It's worthless. Worthless. Oh my God. Let's not even forget that article. Androids finally have their own version of AirTags? Well, not necessarily. Third-party provider Chipolo, C-H-I Polo, Chipolo, Chipolo, has announced 2 new trackers of service: the Chipolo one-point item tracker and the Chipolo card point wallet finder. And these will be some of the first. And these devices are just similar to AirTags. One is goes in your wallet, and one goes on your keys. I'm a big fan of AirTags. To be honest with you, if you're an Android user and you're not using an AirTag specifically, this has changed everything. I will never have a piece of luggage go anywhere without a tag hidden. Matter of fact, I had a suitcase that got broke on the last trip. I had to kind of tear it apart a little bit to get to where I had the chip stash, but I pulled out the AirTag, pulled it out, transferred it into a backup suitcase, so that when I basically sent the suitcase for recycling, that it would not. You know what I actually use old beat up suitcases for? Well, if you moved a few times like me and you have the storage, I save old suitcases. I put them in old suitcases in storage. So whenever I have to move again, I'll have some old beat up suitcases to put clothes and stuff in. Now, you may not have the storage, not be able to do that. It wasn't so beat up that it can't be used on a non-airplane flight, but could be used in a U-Haul. So what do you guys use your old suitcases for? There's a tip of the day. Drones that can charge on power lines may not be the best idea, but I think it's brilliant. I look at what they've done here. And you got drones that are working power lines, working fields, whatever it may be, and they can basically fly up to a cable, get underneath it, fly up into the cable, it locks in, and it charges. And conductive charging. Now, these are commercial drones. And here's what I think might end up happening. And this will get somebody killed because somebody will try to do something stupid. Someone might try to hook a couple of drones up. Now, these are high voltage power lines. High voltage power lines with no step down transformer. So what's going in there will kill you. But I could see people designing this to try to steal electricity. I really could see it. I could see people trying to steal electricity using this tech. Now, I don't know how good it would work inductively, but if, they think about a drone picking up a cable, I could see this. Someone's going to get killed doing this. Some idiot say, I'm going to steal electricity. Let me hook into the power line, 2 drones, attach themselves. Yeah, I think so. But I think from a legal commercial service, these autonomous overhead power line recharging for drones is brilliant. It's really brilliant. And it's not like the operator's going to know. Lots of power lines out in the middle of nowhere as well. There's not an electrical socket around. So this is pretty brilliant. Fly Me to the Moon trailer plays right into Apollo 11 conspiracy theorist hands. Scarlett Johansson stars as a PR expert who's tasked with faking the moon landing. This is the Fly Me to the Moon Sony movie trailer. So, I don't know when this is coming. Flight to the Moon will arrive in theaters July 14th, almost 55 years the day after Apollo 11 launch. So those of you that don't think we went to the moon, here you go. What else? Gmail Summarize This email feature could arrive on Android soon. A Summarize This email button has been spotted on the app. In other words, AKA, to help you with AI. Google's app experimental bottom search bar on Android is slowly taking shape. The refreshed design first appeared in 2021. So they're going to try this again. And they're going to put a bottom bar with a search. I think it's great. I always have a problem on the Android finding a search. So it's always at the top. I'd rather have it at the bottom. So we will see where this goes. The latest iPhone 16 battery leak is great news for some models, but bad news for one, aka the iPhone 16 Pro Max may have a smaller fuel cell. So we'll see. But they're promising a more efficient chipsets like the A18. So maybe that's the reason. That's the trade-off. Have you ever heard of iDrive? iDrive is adding cloud-to-cloud backup for personal Google accounts. Company with the Forum for Interoperability is struck again here. And again, iDrive is one of the best cloud backup service providers. Basically, get unlimited backups for $20 a year. But per the blog post announcing the move, the cloud storage service is now offering backups to Google Drive, Mail, Calendar, and Contacts. Oh, they are putting a storage limit with a 10 terabyte storage limit for $20 a year. iDrive have form for this kind of interoperability. The company began offering unlimited cloud storage with some catches when backing up Microsoft 365 accounts also for $20 a year. So they're, again, integrating into other services. So this is iDrive. Link will be in the show notes. The National Security Agency has appointed Dave Luber as their new cybersecurity director. So Luber was announced as the next cybersecurity director when Joyce's retirement was revealed in February. Joyce was a highly respected member of the cybersecurity community and was appointed the NSA cybersecurity director in early 2021. Well, you know why these gentlemen only stay 3 years in those jobs, right? Most of them that have been there a while, called High 3. Their retirement is based on the highest 36 months of pay that they receive from the U.S. government. So if the person's been there 35 years, it's probably on the old plan. That dude cashed in, not on the new plan. The new plan is 1% a year. And most people don't stay more than 20 or 25 years. But 35 years, 35%, high 3, you can see where that retirement goes. Tesla's robo-taxi set for August launch as Musk is denying the project has killed off affordable Model 2. Recent reports from global media agencies suggest that Tesla has scrapped work on the platform that was due to underpin the much-hyped affordable Tesla Model 2 in favor of pursuing the robo-taxi project. So by producing large sub-assemblies of the same car and then bringing them all together at the same time, Tesla said it could slash production costs of EVs by as much as 50%. However, Musk was relatively quick to shut down Reuters' report surrounding the Model 2 by taking his favorite X platform and stating Reuters is lying again, in response to a post that claimed Tesla was scrapping its low car cost plans. But also on the same day, Musk posted a Tesla robotaxi unveil on 8/8, hinting that we'll see the long-teased autonomous ride-hailing vehicle this August. So this fits his narrative that the owners of Teslas will one day be able to generate income from vehicles, even go so far to say the silhouette of his robotaxi company's third master plan event last year. So in other words, you get out of your car and your car leaves to go drive people around. You're going to be able to add your car to the Tesla shared fleet and have it generating income for you while you're at work or on vacation. What kind of insurance do you need for that? Sounds kind of interesting, doesn't it? But how many miles? It's just like having an Uber, right? Uber or Lyft, how many miles are going to get put on your vehicle? If you're having problems with Android Auto, don't worry. You're not the only ones. They're having problems with the voice commands to Google Maps. So a fix is coming. The Nothing company, the Nothing Ear 2, is set to unveil sometime in April with 2 new earbuds. So again, the Nothing company. That's just such a weird name for a company, Nothing. Also, if you joined a Midjourney Facebook page, please don't follow any links in it. A fake Midjourney Facebook page tried to push malware on over 1 million people. This page had 1.2 million people following it and was a fake. Crazy. They're also targeting Europeans as well. Although the majority of victims were men 25 to 55 in Europe, the bulk of the victims reside in Germany, Poland, Italy, France, Belgium, Spain, Netherlands, Romania, and Sweden. So how did they get sucked in so hard? Oh, this is 2. 2 of them. Oh, my goodness. Be careful. A new report says an Apple TV with a camera would support gestures. I don't want an Apple TV with a camera. Sorry. I got enough cameras already. I don't need a camera in any type of TV. I don't need a camera in an Apple TV device. I don't need a camera. I don't need a camera in my living room unless I put it there. No, thank you. If I need to do a FaceTime call, I'll use my phone. I do not want a camera in any devices. We already have enough stuff. Do you run an e-commerce website? Is it run by Magneto or Magento? Magento e-commerce platform? If you do, I got a link for you. A Magento bug has been exploited to steal payment data from an e-commerce website. Take a look. Now listen to this one. A company called CrowdFence has announced a $30 million exploit acquisition program covering Android, iOS, Chrome, and Safari zero-day bugs. Wow. Researchers able to deliver zero-click full-chain exploits for Android may earn as much as $5 million, while those identifying similar zero days in iOS could receive as much as $7 million. Exploits leading to remote code execution sandbox escape on iOS could earn $3.5 million. The company is willing to pay between $2 and $3 million for Chrome exploits leading to remote code execution and local privilege escalation. Wow. Providence is offering hundreds of thousands of dollars for less impactful sandbox escape exploits targeting Chrome and Safari. Tell you what business they're in. Spy on you. You give me the exploit, I'll pay you so I can spy on people. The report says that industrial robots are making work less meaningful for real people. And all you got to do is grab a YouTube video and say, show me factory, some process, or how is such and such made. And you'll see these long form videos of people, basically videos in factories where robots are doing like 90% of the work. You have to be the robot tech. A study of researcher at University of Groningen in Netherlands and Colorado State University examined effects of robotic assistance in industrial roles and found that robots is making workers feel as if their job has less meaning. Meaningful work is the definition. Research found a consistent negative impact of robotization on perceived work, meaningfulness, and autonomy. This is gonna continue. This is just the start. Robots are going to do more and more and more. So meanwhile, the eclipse is over. So when is the next solar eclipse? Well, the next solar eclipse will be visible in the United States is August 23, 2044. 20 years from now. See, I might still be alive if I'm lucky. After that, another total solar eclipse across the United States on August 12th, 2045. And Michigan, the next one's 2099. So, I don't think I'll make that one. But where else in the world? Was by the Detroit Free Press. So they just focused on the United States. Don't worry, there's more worldwide. Meanwhile, Spotify test AI-generated playlists based on text prompts. The beta feature is available to premium subscribers in the UK and Australia. Oh, this one, you're going to love this. You are absolutely going to love this. Puppies, kittens, their data is at risk after a cyber incident at a veterinary giant. CFS Group, the company behind one of UK's largest chains of vet practices, announced a cyber incident Monday, hinting at the possibility of data theft in clinical care at some of its practices. I'm assuming it's getting the kitty and puppies owners' information, but maybe it got some of your kitties and puppies' medical information. That will bring me to the end of the show. geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, at Geek News on X. And of course, don't forget about our sponsor, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. If you are not yet an insider, please consider a $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 donation monthly. We definitely appreciate it when you do. We thank you so much for being here. You notice I didn't play the tech talking man again. I'm annoying at least one of you that spoke up. So if one person said something, at least 100 others were annoyed. So we'll leave it at that. I'll see if I can come up with something different. Or if you are a musician and want to come up with a little 15 to 30 second intro for the show, so be it, to create something. Have fun playing around with these tools. It's been my pleasure being the podcast. We'll see you again here on Thursday. Everyone take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.